So what's up, everybody? This is Daryl DZ Tosin coming to y'all with um, another one of my wish list videos. Today's game, I'm going to be discussing um, my wish list for NBA 2K 2021. Um, so let me first say that I have never been one to play. I think it's called My Team mode on there. I've never been big on that. Um, I've never. Honestly, I played it like once, but that's about it. The only two modes I've ever really cared about is my GM and yeah, pretty much my GM. To be honest, really, in my career, to be brutally honest. But I think that obviously there have been issues that people have been talking about as far as the animations and things of that nature. I'm not going to get too much into that because that's kind of like everybody has been saying that, but I will speak on um, I will speak on the my GM mode. So the my GM mode in NBA 2K 2020 to me was kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of trash. And the reason why I say that is because it's like you had to really go out there and talk to like the head coaches and this and that in order to be able to gain a good rapport with them, to be able to do the lineups and mess with the playbook and things of that nature. And it seemed to be that you had to kind of keep up a good rapport with all of the other staff in order to unlock certain things. Now, don't get me wrong, that's probably a good realistic aspect of it, but like to me, I feel like it was kind of like too much. It was kind of, I guess it's kind of wild for me to say too realistic, but to me it was because like for that to be brung up now, to have to go through all them hoops, like I won't say that it was too realistic. I just feel like you had to go through too many hoops to get to a certain place to be able to do certain things, and that's what didn't sit well for me playing my GM mode. Um, that was probably about the only thing that I didn't like. Um, because nothing really else changed. I wish that I wish that they probably could probably get in more depth. I don't know if anybody has watched my Madden 2021 wish list, but I feel like 2K can kind of get more in depth too, as far as like my GM mode, as far as going into it and getting players to be like, hey, I need you to gain 10 pounds or 15 pounds in the off season, or hey, I need you to work on your dribbling, or hey, I need you to work on your mid-range shooting ability, or your three, or your perimeter defense, or your defensive IQ. Like I feel like they should incorporate that into it too. Also, 2K normally does a good job also about how they do them, like the draft, and how you can see players, their injuries and the risk, if they're a high risk injury kind of person, and their ceiling and their floor, like their potential of who they could be, and everything else. So that's good. But so I thought about this idea about how 2K, the career mode, can be a lot more better. Um, and I know somebody else, when I made the initial post about anybody else's thoughts, Brittany Spencer, if I'm not mistaken, Brittany Spencer was the one who said something, and I agree with it. I don't know if I liked it or not, but I agree with it. So to get into more detail on that, um, like I've told all my friends that play it, I think what they should do is to stop people from being able to use a bunch of money, actually pay cash and get coins to spend on their player to make them their players the best player ever, and to actually make people want to work on it more. I feel like they're moving in the right direction. But I feel like if they totally want to get on the right road, I feel like they should just make it realistic to the point um, as to of when you go to practice in real life, a lot of players in the NBA shoot like 250 threes a day to even be a good 3 point shooter. So I feel like regardless of your position, I feel like you should have to go to the gym and shoot a bunch of threes or a certain amount number of threes in practice to make your attributes go up more naturally. And it also creates this whole thing of actually working to make your player better. So that kind of knocks out the whole money aspect. Like I said, I still believe that you should have that, but let them cap out like they did like this past year with the 2K20. Let them cap out at a certain overall level, and then after that, make them work for it. And the reason being on this is on the idea of this is because of the fact that I hate it. I cannot express enough how much I hated the fact that they made you have to do this whole archetype, however you say it, stuff. It made me mad. I ain't gonna lie to you because I'm like, so you have a weakness. So I can either be a playmaking defender or a slashing defender or a slashing playmaker, and I'm just like, but it makes people limited. Like it limits people. And I'm like, and I know they can be like, well, it bring more realistic feel to the game. But I'm like, what if somebody want to be like, um, Kawhi Leonard, who's a good playmaker, who can handle the ball, who can play good defense, and can shoot well, and is a good post offensive player, and a rebounder. So like, where can the players meet that kind of mark? Oh, and let me guess, you can't because you can only pretty much be good at maybe two or three things, and that's it. And to me, I felt like that was really bad to even do that because I just feel like you let the players down. You let everybody who let the gamers down in that sense. Because to me, I'm like, if I come up with this idea and I'm not even a developer, how come nobody else has come up with this idea? And that's just me speaking as if my idea is a good idea because everybody else is entitled to their own opinion. Like I say, if you disagree, you disagree. But I feel like to me, that's really the only way to even put a damper on it. And I know people may get mad and be like, well, I don't, they may not agree with it for the simple fact that they may be like, well, now you can have centers being able to dribble like point guards and everything else. Yes. And that brings about that too. But at least you know the person actually worked for it. They actually put in the time to actually work for it. We already call people who real nice at the game anyway, no lifers and this and that. I mean, I've called people that, and I'm sure a lot of other people have called other people who are nice at the game no lifers, meaning that they all they do is play this game or whatever. But at least you know people actually worked at it. And I'm not saying right now people aren't working on it, but I feel like it opens the door up to not only people to work for it, but for people to also have a lot of their players to be versatile. Because in the NBA, in real life we have a lot of players that can pass and shoot. Even big men that can pass and shoot and got a little dribbling moves here and there. So I mean, I feel like to bring it to a more realistic aspect, we have to start adding that to the 2K gameplay. Because I mean, I feel like it has to be done. So to continue touching on details, I feel like you should be able, um, obviously some attributes you cannot work on in the gym. Like you can probably work on your threes. You can probably work on the dribbling. You can probably work on mid range. Um, Obviously, I think they already have it set up to where um, they have the gym aspect to where you can go and do the bench press and the box jumps and the squats and everything else. I feel like you should keep that too. That way, people can work on their physical attributes as well, as long as they do a certain amount of reps every day or do a certain amount of reps every week or something like that. They'll get better at it. Um, Now, as far as defense, I feel like because that's going to be a hard one to try to put in that system. It's like, well, what do I have to do to meet the prerequisites to get better on post defense or perimeter defense if I'm the only one in the gym on my career? So I feel like the way to get better at that would be probably to implement something to where how you have team practices on my career and you have the defensive drills you can do. if you obviously you can put a cap on it. I feel like give people maybe 10 drills they can do or something like that, or let them play one on one against a player or something like that, like an actual like a team member on their team on the my career. Allow them to do that, and if they stop them or something like that, like allow them to, if they stop them 10 times or whatever, or five or however they want to do it, let them be able to get a little defensive boost. Maybe they got defensive rebound or something like that. Um, and also, I feel like also on top of that, they can add boosts also to your player if you meet different accolades in the season. Like you may be a rookie or whatever, and you may come in there and you may average 10 assists a game. Obviously, that's a feat. I'm not saying that that's like something really spectacular, but to me, that's spectacular. If you average 10 assists a game, um, obviously that deserves a boost. That deserves like a 5 point, a 5 attribute passing boost or something like that. Um, or maybe if you're one of those people who constantly break people down in the games, that deserves a boost. Um, and that's also a good way to start to get your badges too. So it's not like we're forgetting the whole badge aspect either. Um, I do feel like there should be more prerequisites made to where you can get a badge. You cannot have a Hall of Fame 3 point shooting badge if your three is only a 70 or a 75 or 80. That makes no sense. How did you get a Hall of Fame 3 badge if your three is only an 80? Like that wouldn't sit with me. I wouldn't know how to react to that. That would probably make me mad because that tells me that anybody can get a badge no matter what their attributes are. You can have a 55 blocking, and you can I forgot what the badge is for blocking people or whatever, but you can have a 55 blocking and have a Hall of Fame badge in blocking, but your overall rating for your block stat is only 55. So that wouldn't make sense to me. So that's pretty much it as far as my wish list for NBA 2K. Um, I feel like in a way 2K they're trying to do a little bit too much in the wrong in the wrong game modes. Because I know there's not really much you can change in my GM. Like there's really not much you can change. Because I feel like they really implemented and added a lot of the stuff, a lot of stuff that they could that they added. I don't think they can even do more than what they did. But so that's it for today's video, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thanks everyone for checking in on me, and peace.